أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته my dear brother السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته Baranga fayla Senegal man petroleum soto Nia soto no atara France asina meta I told you this gas of for this is the largest gas deficit, one of the largest gas deficit in the world. Petrol, member Gambia, la Balcono, can be compared to Saudi Arabia or Venezuela. Dollar petroleum reserves. Okay? Amante fenko interfango le si fenketa. Yalo ikamol nene ka poko lady foreign oil companies na ye lansing soto puka exploration ke okay kabrin jawra la jamano iba foka bare maji ala men ke inata do sing imam futa fenko to fan imam futa fenko oil to iko is a dry well. It's not true. Okay? Dilo men katawolem, they know that Gambia has a lot of petrol. But the West is UK and America. Iko ibe West Africa la petrol ibe wari saf la le follow. Yeah, Arabo la petrol exploit. Because iko wati besi la Arabo near long ibe wula ibe keleni la. Then they come to West Africa. Wala keda. What secret Fengwale keda between the Jawara and the British government with the Americans. Okay? So Kabir intol nata Fenke ngamira ko bantal Kaba Jawara. Jawara will appoint as petroleum Fenko commissioner. And one more ala Fenko for abandoning Walemba. No, I'm not abandoning what is something like Jawara is his uncle. Okay? So Yalom Kabintol Natan Temabul. If you want to work with us, you work with us. If you don't want, I'm going to kick you out or send you to jail. So lung killing Walter and Kaiko Franco be menketa wala papers be bodina. Gago Aleja Farming City, Honeybee, you want to continue with that with your uncle? Gago Wolungala Afengeta. Wolungala Warta. Molia je tilikunta ba wolungo fana tilube kandiri. Yale kawaja ora be Fenko ketol narlanda office abe mugi nyaha be to heb jani wan he jamante dafa tangal kire. And Mambure Jai was there. Mambure Jai was there. So okay. Company do ya fenkele ika formula ko it's not economically viable ten. So and then they wanted a license for 30 years. Can you understand? So petroleum is not a tree. You cannot fool me. Petroleum is not a tree. That will wait for 30 years, 35 years. So if it is not there, are you telling me you want the well to grow? Petroleum is not a tree, it's natural. So living it 35 years, I'm not going to accept that. You can go. We are going to We are going to do the exploration ourselves. Okay? So don't governor, the World Bank can pay for this and that. However, the World Bank will not pay for this. So, I like it. I tell you more the bole. Okay. Libya la massacre, you remember? Aladdin Fula, Walnata. Okay, we know some Canadians that we can bring to work with you. Okay? So oil exploration up to design of the well can design everything. Okay? Intel Lengajo. About $4 million. Knowledge of this company. Exploration care. Walat na kabiri wakuma setaro. Na Gambian students ki Taiwan la. Petroleum studies. Well management, engineering, pipeline, everything. Because we don't want foreign experts to control our oil. Walat na ngi train. Don't that attachment up to Ipinjana, Venezuela, Hugo Chavez le Bijeno. Don't that for Qatar, Loli train Kuwait. You remember GNPC? I trained them in preparation for when we start drilling. We will not need too many outsiders. Okay? So I know this. Kabiri we announced the discovery of oil in the Gambia. Ablawa da domadi anyabe malan. For akafanye, very soon Gambia will become like the Emirates. Akonye bara yalon ko nsa sunya nole. You know, ka paipo keje ka paipo fenkenanje. Nga funtin di Senegal. Okay, he was saying like he was joking. Ngako any day, Ngako, how are you going to drill in our water in Delta alone? Okay? Ngako, I try, and then you know what I'm going to do. Ngako, I learn London. Okay? So it often it will campaign back at the Forbes magazine, Yemelonko. It's very expensive. Yeah, advertisement kejela. Senegalese la block. You know, I'm not blocks. Wow. They went to Forbes. Guy, you gis na oil bine ko Senegal, Gambia la mega. I'm not in John Lansing, sir. Americans, I think Kodako. So you gis na for Abu. So you know that you negotiate pro. Ñu drill lifin bi bu Gambia bi boole ko Senegal manako that is not going to happen manako if you want my petroleum you come to me, don't even talk to me about Senegal manako in fact this is the end of the discussion. You think we are stupid? So nge bay wala ñam abla wada ay fa ya wala ke munat na senu dabo bebe deri itol bele be deri ñu ko wala because it Abidjan. Because at that time, 2018, Usenda was in the government. Usenda was in the government. Basically, he was always in charge because Adama Barrow was just a figurehead. Agafo sin mfama. Coalition be Abidjan. They are not talking about it. So nying adi enjoy sila. Adi enjoy sila. And atol fana ni boy kujabi la fenko ala pleje mo be amoy. Boy kujabi la banta ba I go aita viral. Gambia no be ya lonko nying ñine be cherry. To our 5%. You think I'll take 5%? It's not going to happen. Studies ke for long. Every oil rig, jail them. Ka essential sang, astafurlah. Ka petroleum oil drill, I knew the total cost. Ngalon. Okay? Bare? So I was waiting for Pengwanying. After 2016, then ngak mas. What at na go Gambia University, I mean Gambia School of Bakela free education net. Because we have oil. But I mean something like that. Or better Gambia no. Opposition be yalonde, it will be that be in court. What at na ibukafo? They will not say that. Okay, Kabirum Adamabare NPP law. You say me Dabonyon Tata Senegal. Macky Sall, they signed an agreement. What was it? It's for them to have that share of the oil. So these people, just few people, are benefiting from the Gambian oil to the detriment of Gambians. Alinyanta nyimfango kela special bantaba. I know everything. I know. Kolong fang disano be ngajole. It's like bunga la plano be into ngajole. Meant to touch in the right moment because I don't want any of these companies. You now can for more than 5%. Ni mo ko 5% ka for you later. Okay? Bantala mo ya fanya. Kanya nita ta jing alat yo ila tulo be betala. Ani nyewol. Euro fana be kuntura. I knew this before we. Afanya. Kanya bare kwanya ite tadro. Because time was it eta yobujam. Then what more they will more learn. That was what they told me. Kanya bare kana kampai ite tadro. Angko. Namu alaya sole ni manke modo la ken amanke fenke fan la hala ala ngori ngole lo soto fenke te indata fala fa mamse no para como fenke afonyame enjon sila Senegalese moro yalon ne ko nyine be caring. They know that Senegal has no oil. Ibe dating. And Usman Sonko fana kabiri abe siring abe dating. You know? Okay. Yalo mam set ko fenkenyol Usman Sonko nyol I sponsor it. So, what is the meaning of that? Because kabiru makisala lonko ate tata mateo sotonola. Ako alafta penke kabiru preso lata kan. Ako alafta penke Usman Sonko ke candidate. Usman Sonko mansong adi Basiru Jomai fight. munatna kabira sita han bi imanyin kuofo bere ma ja botan ni kwanye akwanye ko be funtila nan abe membe nukuri abe funtila ba funti mba funtila ako wala be gambe no fan kamfandi ay wala fonte akwanye ni commencé la ni ndoko fango ni la ko kulo bebe wanya and wala be gambe no kamfandi ali nyanta kala platform oto ini boy fiabe ayade ali adi mo gambe no be amoy coalition government ye menke yes any party member coalition oto momo dabe coalition oto idabi je ñen fenkot ñin dilot wala na Halifa Sallah ka fako ga the Gambia does need an army. I don't know. The Gambia doesn't need an army. Yeah, we will disband them and integrate them into civil society. Halifa Sallah for more job, but they're all original from Senegal. What do we expect? Hamad Banyu. But I quite tell. Ali Franco Ali lungo for what Ali lungo mutaji. Maybe I'll sake Friday fama. Yala Friday is my day. Ali Franco ke Friday. But Alba announced like Friday boy kuja bantaba. Albe kulole wanyar la melon ko albe fenna fala membe caring since 2018. Yes, because maybe no, but they cannot block you from. Can they block you from having your bantaba? I don't think so. But as I announced, you announced that you are going to have a special bantaba on a special topic. Ibajala ko Gambian and those in the diaspora, they will listen. And then cassette play, audio play. Gambian obey amoy. And this audio fananya tatala viral. Aladun the forum better. May the Almighty Allah guard you, protect you, guide you, and shower His infinite blessings, infinite bounties, and infinite mercies upon you and your entire families. May the Almighty Allah grant you perfect health, perfect peace, perfect prosperity, and perfect happiness throughout your lives in this world, and grant us all Jannatul Firdaus in the hereafter. Allahumma amin ya rabbil alamin. Allahumma amin ya dua menke alama alasa kentol be asa asinson asa tala antol bro. My brother, can I blame me for that? Sleeping? The van volenta. I think I feel is nasi no kefo. Ya fante kabiringa 5 o'clock sali. Nata si nko sirang tade nko batu nga fenke ara mawiru si togo. Mangi deg news. No boxing la don setan. Why money? Ara malifin mo wacha tuti. Tala suma tangay. Mangi dega lifin bi. Television bi. Ndekte man nelaw na be ma duga si lifin. Ma duga si genta. So maa ngi si gënda boobu ma jékki-jékki rek gënda bi jeex rek mu mel ni nit moo ma tegte ma eew bi ma eewoon ne ma ne musiba am na man dama foog ne ay 5 yooyu noonu ma ne xaaral ma dem julli li fin waaye ma xalaat ne dëgga suma lifin bi ma fàttaliku ne 5 o'clock rek laa julli asr laa julli so ma ne waaw now is 5 o'clock te fajar jot na so noonu laa demee jàppa ba pare ma ñëw rek mu mel ni nit moo ma ne seetal time bi ma seet time bi nekk 8 o'clock la so noonu laa demee fay boori yëpp lifin mooy Maghrib ak lifin Isha ma julliwaale lifin safa witr since then can you believe up to now nelaw ma sa 1 minute suma bët yaa ngi woo koŋ xam naa ne boori 5 si ngoon daal suma resist rek foog ma dem tëddi my brother, may the Almighty Allah guard all of us, patriotic citizens, true Muslims that are fighting for justice, who are fighting for their rights, those people that are being oppressed because of their religion or race or ethnicity. May the Almighty Allah guard all of us, protect all of us, guide all of us, and shower His infinite blessings, bounties, and mercies upon all of us throughout our lives in this world. Amen. And grant us taqwa, hikmah, tawfiq, tawheed, iman, rizq, ibadah, barakah, purify us, perfect us, guide us, and grant us refuge with Him from Satan the accuser. Grant us absolute obedience, absolute belief, absolute piety, and worshiping Him alone and only Him alone throughout our lives in this world. And as well grant us perfect health, peace, prosperity, and happiness throughout our lives in this world. And grant us Jannatul Firdaus in the hereafter. Allahumma amin ya rabbil alamin. Allahumma amin ya rabbil alamin. Allahumma amin ya rabbil alamin. Brother, tonyalem Senegal be ñanta moy la, dunia be ñanta moy la, Gambia no be ñanta moy la. Yes, because definitely this is something else. You remember not long ago, wane nañ gaal yi ñëw Gambia, petro tankas yi ñëw Gambia ba ñu wane loolu fan lan la ñëw si Gambia lifin bi. Okay, some say maybe these are illegally living vessels belonging to countries that are under sanctions and now are using Gambia as a cover because they're flying Gambian flag. But the thing is, they're not smuggling oil. They are going to Senegal to collect the oil, our oil. You see? Ni ala sonta fem be maburen abe funtilal. Abe funtilal. Inshallah nadiata alay. Abe be funtilal. Yes. But I'm really, definitely, I'm really disappointed by Usman Sonko, who says that he's a Muslim. Buguma aleli jambo. Alel bi ngeen aji fende ko Gambia ngeen ko sàcce foofu ngeen nekk di sàcca di yóbbu seen dëkk loolu du alali jàmbur. These are the things you people should, these are things you should highlight. That nga ne bëgguloo alali jàmbur musuloo jël alali jàmbur wat now yéen a ngi jël oil bi ñoo jël moomuñ ko. So how is it possible that yaa doo jël alali jàmbur musuloo sàcca the state of Senegal sa Macky Sall sàccakat bi ñëpp xam mu def deal ak Adama Barrow ñuy pompe ñoo gas ñu oil bi ñu ko pompe to Sénégal ñu ko yóbbu moom lu moo wax bu dee loolu la kon depuis dee bu mu jëlee réew mi si la waroon a wax réew mi ne lifin bi diw bi ñoo jëfandikoo moomuñ ko so how is it possible yow nga ne doo jël alal jàmbur ba pare yaa ngi jël alal jàmbur alal kenn jàmbur su fekkee ne it belongs to one person loolu sax ba axala sakatuma e whole réew boo xam ne seen alal boobu ngeen a jël yéen di ko jëfandikoo kon soo nekkee muslim war loo ragal da nga wax dëgg because that is what you should do su fekkee ne wax nga ne yow muslim nga ñu ne waliw nga waliw du def lu moo def ni waaw waaye the thing is ñaan boobu man d'accord ma si waaw ñaan boobu d'accord ma si dang leen a wax dëgg nga ne leen yal na yàlla na dugal seen xol yi ngeen ragal ko ngeen stop li ngeen xam ne baaxut loolu rek ngay wax waaw loolu la waaye ñaanal leen lii man bokkuma si my brother man daal man dama am principle de waaw sooy def lu bon du ma la ñaanal de lu bon loo xam ne yaa ko tey loo xam ne yaa nga def baaxut xamloo ko dinaa la ñaanal yàlla waaye loo xam ne yaa ko tey te yow nga ne muslim nga yaa wax ne doo jël alal jàmbur definitely du ma la ñaanal ñetta oil boobu suñ ko lifinoo Gambia ni ko Gambia coono bu fa nekkal léegi nii loolu du am dëkk bi yaaxu na waaye ñii dañ ñëw pour oil bi ñoomi neen ñu ko séedoo at the detriment of the Gambians ñu ne Gambia the people of the Gambia elected them and they stole the oil and sold and took it to Senegal and selling it ñoom ñu ngi ku nekk mu ngi am yàlla xam ñaata millions la moo amee mont while Gambian hospitals are reduced to trash jigéen bu dem lopitaan nga dee niidul sax niidul yi ñoo injecté dañ ko use on 8 people loolu war na am nga xam ne Sénégal dañ daa ñëw di faju Gambia lañ doon fajoo te liñ daan fay sax they pay just like the Gambians and it's very low waaye Gambian bu dem Sénégal rek ñu laa charge a fortune nga xam ne treatment in Sénégal baadoola Gambia mënu ko am waaw my brother man duma ñaanal kenn de ñii duma lay ñaanal musiba waaye tam duma lay ñaanal jàmm man dama leen a bàyyi ak yàlla ba ma delloo Gambia si la affaire yëpp di leer because boobu nee naa leen naxari ne they are going to lose it wow and then we take further legal action they will account for everything moom moo wax ne Sénégal accountability moo fa nekk Gambia accountability moo fa nekk wow so he should know that there will be no compromise on this but make it very clear make it very clear suñ foogee ne Senegal suñ ne dañoo annex Gambia dama leen a wipe out I wipe them out loolu moom sax buñ ko xalaat sax seen soldat yi nga xam ne sax scouts yi ñoo leen gën a brave ñu ngi lifin Casamance why do they need Gambian troops because ñoom yi ne ñii dañ leen a fara comme ay dream ba pare look at the wickedness instead of ñu jox leen let them bring living dañ sàcca suñu weapons yëpp yóbbu ko Sénégal weapons yu baax yëpp lañ yóbbu US pour wax ko mu ñu delloo weapons yooyu yëpp bu dee lu mu wane moom awma xut bu saman la na delloo luñ sàcca from the Gambia weapons yi Gambia yëpp lañ yóbbu Sénégal ba pare mënuñ ko use because they are very sophisticated my brother ñaan bi nga mujjee boobu man d'accord waaw I have to tell you nit ku bon bu ko ñaanal jàmm su demee ba gis ne léegi li ma def baaxut mu delloo ko den nga ñaanal ko jàmm bul ko ñaanal tamit li benn musiba bàyyi ko yàlla rek waaw man I will never pray for anybody that is wicked you know my brother I'll tell you something today yàlla def ama contact ak moom I never tried also to have contact ko okay Ousmane Sonko man musuma ko óolu naa la wax tey yes because uprising bi gaa ñu ne ko nañ dem ñu yóbbu la pale léegi nii mu ne déedéet mu ngi xaar dañu xaar 2024 ñu tëj kii nii élection su ko yàlla dimbale to ni ko élection boobu du ko egga because ñii yàlla rek moo ko siif otherwise they would have killed him man bu mu demee bébé droit gaa ne ko nañ la gunge ñëpp time boobu Macky Sall mu ngi tiit mu ngi bëggoon a daw mu ne déedéet 2024 loolu moo allow Macky Sall nag to arm himself to make sure that he's going to stay he bought a lot of weapons yeneen weapons yi dañ ko may west bi moo ko may si lañ am moto yooyu you guys don't use génnewuma si tokki tamit waa America ak ñeneen tubaab bi dañ care about international Geneva Convention international humanitarian law and law of conflict ni kon impose nañ sanctions on Israel waaye duñ ko def because they don't see non-whites as human beings look at the slaughter going on ñu nga ñaan am nga di ñaan nit ki di ko lifinaale rek baalal ma rek si ron suñ waxu dañoo ne li waaye arab si tam ñoo tooy xaay nit ki wax ko dëgg ko saaga wax ko dëgg rek yes noonu danga gomloo ñëpp ne yow lii nga te doo jël alal jàmbur soxla loo ko oil bi nag alali Gambia la lu tax nga soxla ko waaw dafa war a explain loolu bi ko xam na ne sàcca la buñ toogee ba léegi waxuñ dara si affaire oil ñu ngi noppi anyway man daal noonu laa ko gisee noonu laa ko gisee. I wish you good luck. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Maybe some parts are Mungawa in English because I want the international community to know that we know what is going on. Yes. You remind them. Well, Senegal yëpp Ablaye Wade xam na ne oil lifting bi exploration in the Gambia. Man, I was controlling it. I was in charge because man maa fay. Company def ko def jox company license pour mu def ko ñun ñoo jël xaalis bi jox benn company boobu mu ñëw defal ñu sauver yëpp waaw ak well design bi yëpp. So there's nothing I don't know about this oil. Senegal oil nekk fa su fa nekkoon ni comme total gas nañ ko bu yàgga. So how come léegi ñu jékki-jékki rek am oil? No. Fan la oil boobu jóge fi lañ bëggoon a reyante ak Guinée Bissau oil bi Guinée Bissau lañ ko discover Sénégal ñu ne Senegalese territory Guinée Bissau pare he gaa intervene ñu lifin ñu ne Guinée Bissau ñu ne kenn du ko gas Sénégal duñ ko gas gaa dem international court presided by French judges rek ñoo fa nekkoon ñu ne waaw Guinée Bissau oil bi 18% lañ si moom Manjaago ne loolu lu si dal kenn du ko gas bi Ablaye Wade ñëwee mu négocier bribe di government bi fa nekkoon waaye still ñu ne ñoom de ñu ne ok léegi 25% gaa yi bañ stalemate boobu moo fa nekk ñu ne duñ nangu doon so balaa ñu paroon a xëy ak Guinée Bissau because of oil bi naka si living Guinée Bissau Sangamba time boobu lu tax gasuñ ko all these things nga déglu suma audio bi bu baax then you have ideas ñoom ñu ngi am oil lu tax ñu bëggoon a xëy ak Guinée Bissau because Guinée Bissau ñu ne oil bi seen géej la nekk balaa nga dem xëy ak Guinée Bissau yaa ngi amee oil Sangamba lu tax nga bàyyi ko su fekkee ne oil mu ngi fa ak gaz bu ñëwaay yëpp Gambian territory la nekk maa ngi amee maps yëpp because man I was the one who was commanding the exploration I know everything well designed si yëpp gis naa ko yeah well bu ñu gas man xam naa ko ñu ngi ko tuddee alhamdulillah one because 5 blocks lañ def the largest lifin bi fu mu nekk block boobu mooy alhamdulillah the first well is alhamdulillah one boobu lañ dem gas Australian si amuñ lu ñu waxut ma bañ American si ñëw ñu ne am nañ licence Sénégal waaye oil bi nekk Sénégal bëriwul so ñu bëgg a use lifin boobu pour man ma jox leen lifin licence su ko defee ñu ñëw gas suñ boos ñu pipe ko to Sénégal ma daaxaleen man leen la dem go to hell man leen loolu du am ba pare man 5% du ma ko jël cost of the oil platform yëpp ak drilling yëpp xam naa ko ma ne leen suñ starté ñoom dañoo jël 65% ñun ñu jël 45%. expenses yi ñu def di jëndal rig bi ak yëpp boobu bés bu ñu ko réalisé rek we are taking 75%. And this because loolu mënoon nañ ko recover within less than 5 years because there's a lot of oil there. So less than 5 years, I was going to kick them out. Why? Yàlla def lu mu def because after OSA, I was working on getting my own financing without taking a loan from any Western bank. Wow. Because no Western bank will give an African country a loan to exploit your own oil and that you will control. They will never do that. So anyway, when I'm ready, I'm going to get it. And I was going to start drilling in 2018. 2018. Because it was between 2016 and 2018 labo one of them. I think from 2018 tamit. The same year, 2018, I was going to give free education to all Gambians, university, all free. Wayalan did it demalang. Okay, let me good enough. Why I'm giving you all the details that you need. Okay, this petrol is not between Gambia and Senegal. This petrol is inside Gambian territorial waters. Only Sangomar coming for Sangomar. How many years you advertised la moment solar fentije? Okay? So I'm told in Senegal time, I've been told inside Gambian territorial waters. They cannot claim that. So no matter whatever fault you make, you cannot lose your petrol. It's not possible. It's not possible. How can you lose your petroleum in your own country because there was a breach in the contract? No way. No. No, it's not possible. Yes. You cannot lose a country, you lose your oil because the government messed up. No, you cannot do that. They cannot do that. I dealt with petroleum lawyers. What kind of company? It's not possible. Bankola Fango, you lose it to another country or to a foreign company. No way. It has never happened in the history of the world. Yeah. Do you know how many times we went to court because of this oil? The Canadian lawyer thought that we cannot win. You come and I guide you. Mamura is my witness. You could go. 3 times he went to Sambala court, international. Malong for Fenkonying, I forgot the name of the company. Well, not a GPMB song. So-called privatization. Girl coming for the most profitable companies, African oil force privatized. We Africans being stupid. We just went into globalization and privatization. And even Nigeria had one of the best airlines in Africa. Nigeria Airways was a household name in Africa. Nigeria's fishing, shipping, cargo vessels, Jammeh Soto, even Ghana, another private, privatized. Probably better because they know that it's lucrative business. If you have a cargo vessel, you will always have money. Inata is very privatized. Hey, the company is called Alimenta. Wale GPMB son. And the only payment that we saw was $400,000. 400,000. So the rest of the payment, digital. We could have taken Jaura to court for that. But what did we do? We seized the GPMB. Now let them go and deal with Jaura who sold it to them. They can't all threaten, no, they will, the Europeans will back them, Altasi. You are talking about law. I know the law. Even the late farmer Jata, we cannot win this law because that is what the law said, international law said. We cannot win this case. Ngo ito le into Samba court. Abe koilat. Yes. So I made it very clear. Let them tell them that after losing the court, they will lose the case, and now we will take them to court. And there was another American that was helping us. But Atafangwa is an international lawyer. For us to win this case, it's not possible because, the case is in Europe. I think it was in Geneva. World Bank, no, you have to give it back to these people, otherwise we cannot win the case. I told them to go to hell. I sent soldiers to take over the place. But Gambia, no. My brother is very sad. It's very sad. Antoine Gay. I think it was Antoine Gay. And that was another case. Gambia no not allow I escape. Iborta. We have already taken over, so that's not a. And you send soldiers to invade the place. Even that is another case. I don't think you know whom you're dealing with. Alain told Marco na evidence Jammeh Soto. They took one of they told me that was one of the best law firms in Europe. Lalif and Lalif. I will never forget that name. So the lawyer, the Canadian lawyer, the Canadian lawyers, evidence there from each sitting keta twice ikonga adjourn. No, you cannot adjourn it. No, you cannot force it because they took you to court. You didn't take them to court. I told them, but then at the end of the day, they will pay us the cost of coming every time. So the lawyer, okay, definitely, there is nothing we can do about it because they took you to court. So I insisted that no, it's not fair. They took us to court and then keep adjourning, and we have to go there. It's not going to happen. So the Canadian law said, go and tell the court that we are an African country. And we cannot have the luxury of going to Geneva all the time. Okay? They either continue the court or we will also take them to court. But we want them to finish the court. They are proceeding because they're going to lose the case. And then now we will take them to court. My brother, kafene foyed, yalanga mena malam kujama mentamita. Kabirin nata evidence do bondi nang wrong. Iko ya adjourn indefinitely. Nko watekala. It's not going to happen because then it will be at cost to us. We have to retain the lawyer, the retainer. It's cost to us. The lawyer kwenye ande yunenga kwenye where did you study law? Which university? The University High School of the Gambia. I didn't study law. Well, what we did was a short course. About what? 2 months. But that was in the Gambia depot. But then at that time, thank you. Malam Fariba, if you will remember 81 coup. There was a prosecutor called J.K. Dako. He was known in the Gambia. Now more prosecute. Prayer would be difficult. Iko kabirin fenge Rawlings, yeah, accused. I think I a la first fengo coup plot will not have failed, yeah, muta. So fenge J.K. Dako will I prosecute and some others. So I think Fenkenying, yeah, convicted and they sentenced him to death. Jerry Rawlings. So Kabiri ya samba fengoto, prisinoto, death row. The soldiers started because he was in the I think in the military prison. So soldiers make a guard. He can suffer all over. If you kill this man, we will burn you alive. So when I can the soldiers, yeah, prison that they, Jerry Rawlings body, I could attack. But Jeke Dako, ala sole, akanata adunta, namela bota adunta togola. Then another funtina Gambia. Allah Akbar. So nyinko Jeke Dako fan kabira abentol tala class. Akonya you be a very good lawyer. Ngago law is common sense. I don't need to go to university. Malo adolonde barelwa. They know me. Fafa banyo be intelone. Iko nintenga law study no. Itola to fa mota moila. So muneta natake nyini alonko ite fenko ite case win no. And then we were even bringing more evidence against them, money laundering, based on facts. My brother, then they go hard, so we should pay them, I don't know what, for them to for us to settle out of court. We are not settling out of court. You losing the case, and we're going to take you to court because we have evidence that is damaging to you. When I'm ready with you, I've not said your company will not exist, but not in Africa. And what can alimenta fa mobu kamo isan Africa jang no. You know when the European Union decided to negotiate, I told them it's not going to happen. So I call her Nini Franco Memfenge, a claim of $80 million. God, tell us how this $80 million came about. Because what we have is a payment of $400,000. So if you had paid 80 million, and the cost of the GPMB was $80 million, then that is what you have to pay us. So we're going to sue you for that. So that EU that Farmer Jada, the late Farmer Jada, it was my finance minister. And Dole Fankana, ambassador near letter present, they were appealing to me to let it go. So I'm going Farmer, okay. The European co Ibajola, why no, you shouldn't pay. You shouldn't pay to Alimenta, pay to us. So yeah, double wala for case na tato. Because I nintel be GPMB wafela. Nta wafela koto. Jimala ba wafela. This privatization is meant to destroy African industries. You know. So but then manyana they'll have access. I made it very clear. If they want to die, let them come and have access to the plan. They are not the owners. I've kicked them out. World Bank, they am telling go katekela. Because we had all the evidence against them. So look, ni tata any city na nga bomb kilim jolom. I started dropping the small bombs. This Canadian lawyer, and they don't respect. And they don't respect. Gago, if I were not the head of state, I would go and defend the Gambia. And these people would have no legs to stand on. If I can nomination in the yes. Anyway. Okay, Nico, hi, Gambia oil. When I go, I'm not the government that signed this. They are going to take our oil, whether they like it or not. They know that. Okay? Case you belong to fanga winde. Can you fanga pin down there? Lata ka soro. Kabirin tol bota je wala nata negotiation okay kotoke. Ye Gambia government samba court. And that is a criminal act. It's a violation of the license. You know? Tony Blair, that wicked soul. Alamuso like he was an advisor to Barrow, whatever. Because alcoholic. Alamusole case on behalf of the Gambia. I don't know whether they paid her £4 million. Can you believe? Case Yebelonka Bantal. They were appealing to us. Case Bantal. You know? They capitalized to take this fools to court. in a case that has already finished. But the problem also was the fact that I don't want to lose my cool. People like Mamburenja, but Allah. Yeah, there was also this Fafasanya. Fafasanya. He knows everything about Gambia petroleum. But I can't call him. Anyway, it's a long story. My audio is very long, 18 minutes. I'm sorry. So, I can tell you stories of high-profile cases against the Gambia. But Nina, I believe the lawyers, demanding dinner. Nin two sittings, right? Then it's happening. Definitely, you have a case against these people. Now they are softening their tone. I think they want a settlement out of court. I go, no. It has to be a settlement, a settlement inside the court. They took us to court. We are ready. Let them continue the case. Wherever they stop, we're going to take them to court too, because we have damaging evidence. So we will lose the oil. Ata sotola. Ata kela. Kevin told the Australian company, Kevin told a problem or sort of. That was what the Canadians were telling me. When we kicked them out. And we didn't kick them out at the time, their Fenco. Their license was operational. The license ended. Iko nyanta rinyula ngaka tekala. So they were telling cock and bull stories. What they are talking about is that they will not own the well, but they will go to a court to file an injunction, okay, to make sure that you cannot also drain the oil. That's an injunction. But nobody can do that anymore. Nobody can ever do that. Not with me anyway. That is what they told us when we had a problem. Because they find an injunction. That is what the Canadians told me. And even the princes, that is what they told me. No, it's not going to happen. We're going to win this case. So they were telling me, no, just renew it and go, no, Atekela. I refused. I made it very clear. They took us to court 3 days. I think three court sessions. When I get along, they withdrew. Yeah, my dear brother. Yes, it's called an injunction. So that the court will block you from exploiting the oil. They cannot do that on me. It's not possible. No, it is. No, it's not possible. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.